It's still grabbing it. Alright, fuck it. Vertex. Yeah. Alright. So now, let's see what that looks like. That may be a little closer to what we're looking for. And what we'll do is we'll add this to our little piece library down at the bottom. There we go. That's more ideal of what we're looking for. And again, it doesn't have to be quite exact. You're really just trying to get it pretty close. These little components are just adding a little to it. And if you don't understand what that means, it's okay. You don't have to. But just okay. Here we go. So now we've run into booleans that are not cooperating. Let me just make sure it's not cooperating here either. All right, it is not. Okay, so that means we have fucked up this object somehow. So let's do this. Let's delete all my type again. Go through kind of a check in the back of my head of what needs to happen. Okay, let's try it again. If this doesn't work, we'll try some other techniques. Hey, you know what? I bet it's because we're not using legacy. Oh, we are. Okay. So, let's back up. Control-Z is our friend here. If we can get there. Okay. So this is before the incident. So let's work through it. Let's try a couple different things. All right. So let's try and combine the objects. And then mesh differencing. There we go. So, and sometimes it just takes a little play. I mean, it's just something to kind of be aware of. So, this little bitch, because it gave us so many issues, we're going to add one of these to the library. Alright, now we're going to bring this in. What the fuck? Alright, we're going to save during the incident here. And give it a little time. We did a lot. No, don't read that. Alright. And let's see what it looks like if we can get two of these together. Okay, so it's not quite there. You got one to There we go. That was weird. Lost audio there for a second. That's cool. The struggle continues. All right, so we're going to kind of see where that's at. Okay, so we want to pull these vertexes out a little bit. And we may even go back and add it to these screw heads too, or not. I mean, it's cool. It's whatever you guys want to do. This is more of just kind of a learning video for the whole gang. And then we can always go back and do some other cool stuff. Alright, so what I want to do too is make sure these aren't completely flush. Maybe a little overhang. And let me pull these vertexes out just a little bit more. Again, I'm just being anal retentive now. I don't even know if I use that term right. Sounds good though. I think I use it right. For $1 million, I think I could maybe have used that term correctly. Alright, so then we're going to scoot this down. Stand by. Alright, so we're going to scoot it down. We're going to pull this in. Well, fuck it. Yeah, we'll see what these robot arms look like. And then we're going to bring this one down. We're going to pull this in. So there we go. I like that. Now, typically you would rig this, you know, as you go into actually modeling and animating things like that, you would rig this for the joints, and we'll do that later. But for now, what we're going to do is we are going to combine this into one object. This is where it's going to get kind of complicated throughout, so we kind of want to keep it organized. So we're going to go ahead and mesh, and we're going to combine it to one, and we're going to recenter this point. So, and the only reason I'm doing this is because we're adding these pieces into the robot, and maybe even two, just because it looks a little thin, or you know, we can even make it a little bigger, a little beefier. Yeah. So as we're adding these into our main rig here, just kind of keep that in mind. You know, you want to kind of organize them the best you can. So this will be, this is going to be left, right? No, right hand, right hand. Okay, so we're going to do create selected, and we're going to call this Trashcan right. All right, what we're going to do is duplicate it, and we're going to bring it over, and we're going to rotate it. All right. So now, well, actually, no, we're going to delete that one for right now until we morph this one out a little bit more. I don't really want to do anything with it. And you know what? We may even... So let's do this. Let's add some extra little bits here and there. So I really like this piece. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into faces here. We're going to select all this object, and this is going to be a little out there. Typically you shouldn't do it like this, but we are. No object to duplicate. Okay, now it's getting real. So we're going to do separate. So if you see, it separates all these little components, which is fine. That's kind of what we want. I'm going to bring it back, and we're going to combine into one again. And then we're going to duplicate that one, because this is actually what I'm going for. I'm going to pull these in, so something like that to make this piece a little bit more substantial. Alright, so let's go back into this object here. I'm going to grab these. I'm going to stretch them out a little bit. Let's get a view where we're not impeded by all the other shit we have on the floor. Stretch it out. We're going to see how that looks. Go back into face mode, grab these, pull them in. We should have enough room now. Yeah, boy. There we go. Looking cheesing. Alright, so let's save that again, because it's getting complicated. Shit's getting real. Alright, so what we're going to do now, while we're able to anyway, or as we're kind of keeping in check. Okay, so these objects are separate. Let's kind of start separating these little objects here and there out. In hindsight, we maybe shouldn't have combined these all quite yet. Alright, so we'll start one at a time here. We're going to separate this section here. See what we've grabbed. That's what I want. We're going to mesh, separate. And then we're going to take these objects here. And again, make sure this is what we want. And we're going to combine. And this is why it's important to keep your history clean. Because if I pull up this object, or this outliner, it is nasty with all this fucking history that makes no sense. It's going to fuck up your layer editor. And, you know, if this is all new to you, you don't even use that more than likely. I didn't use it for years. And then somebody taught me the magic of it, and I was like, using it every day. Let's see. Now, we're going to take this piece here. And I'm just double clicking on all the faces for the objects because it'll select all the connected faces. And we're going to edit. No, we're just going to mesh, separate. Okay, this is what we got. What the fuck? No, okay, I didn't select the correct ones. Okay, there we go. Mesh, combine. Now snap them and bring them in. Alright, gonna lock it in there. Looks good. And this will all make sense here shortly while we're doing it this way. And so we'll... Damn it. Let me grab these. And then we're going to go into face mode here. And let me grab these and go ahead and separate all the screws, because these are actually going to be completely separate objects anyway. Alright, so these are separate. This is separate. In hindsight, we probably shouldn't have connected it the way we did. But you live and you learn. Fucking yeah. Alright, so now we're going to go into this cool side view, which I don't have. Yeah, here we go. You know, one object we can go ahead and connect, and I'm, again, going to regret this more than likely here shortly. We're going to connect this one, because I want these to move kind of on their own pivot together. I don't want them to kind of be free-floating on sides here. Okay, so let's rotate down here. And we don't know where this arm's really connecting. We're just kind of giving it a general pose right now. So we're going to, let me go back in the side view here so I can see what we're doing. Because all of the distance is correct, all we're really doing is lining up these. What the fuck? I didn't even... Yeah, so all we're really doing is lining up the objects in this view. And then what we'll do is we'll go back and kind of pose them a little bit. So here without the actual objects. No. So what we'll do is we'll pull this up. And now you can see we can kind of pose it on that arm there. And again, you know, this will be properly rigged. At least that's the idea. In a studio, you usually, depending on what your, you know, job is, you're going to have a guy separate for rigging, and a guy separate for animating, and a guy separate for modeling. So, you know, do what you love. Love what you do. Hopefully you get a job doing it. Don't hold your breath. There we go. And let's see, I don't like the way that one is. So, see there? Got this cool rotate thing. Look at this shit. A fucking propeller, bitch. Went from Trashcan to airplane. But seriously, no. We shouldn't do that. Alright, we're going to pull this one down right here on top of the other one. And we're going to bring that one in. Use this little button here. Pull this in, and we're going to rotate it in. Again, airplane mode. Alright, we're going to give them some kind of... Yeah, there we go. And see, it kind of gives them this, like this long, creepy arm look. Now what we'll do is we will make sure these are all on this layer. No, so it kind of took some out. That's fine. Make sure we can select everything again. We're going to add selected objects. There we go. So now I cannot delete the... No, I can't. But what you can do from here, you can actually select select the objects in that layer and then duplicate it that way. Okay, so here's another thing. You see this shit? Look at that. Look at that. Alright, so we're moving along the axis orientation of the world. And it doesn't really matter. So we're going to delete all history. And we're going to delete all non-deformer history. And we're going to see if that makes a difference. Did not. Okay, so let's try this. Let's go to object. That also did not make a difference. Component. Okay, we're not even playing today. All right, so what we'll do. That's cool. I'll need them. We'll just combine the fucking components, bitch. And we'll rotate 90. And we'll separate everything again here in a second, but you know, depends on how much of this shit we want to do again. Alright, so we got these cool arm things coming out, a little thin. And we may modify them because, you know, as we're going, nothing's permanent. Nothing's real. Alright, you see how big these holes are, though? I mean, that's... We'll see how we like that. Pretty sure my neighbor's just beating on shit now. Alright, so let's grab all these, because this is one object. Gosh darn it.